Hey guys, welcome back to Uncut Hawaii, presented by Central Pacific Bank. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Kolby, and today we have a rock star.
Dude, he 24 years old, world champion, Olympic skateboarder.
Yes, Heimana Reynolds. He is from here, local boy, but he made it big in skateboarding. He was like,
You hear about the professional surfers and stuff coming out of Hawaii, but he grew up skateboarding and he made it a career, and it's just been blowing up ever since.
Yeah. The thing that I took away though from all this, I mean, he is a rock star.
Yes.
Like, he's won so many like X Games and world champion, Olympics, but he's such a sweetie pie.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I just want to like bottle you up.
I know. After the episode, we were all just like, "Oh my gosh, that was such a good episode." And Kobe was just like, "I just want to like."
I'm like, oh, his parents must be so proud. But he has such a amazing heart and wanting to give back, and also just a badass at skateboarding.
Yeah, and we talk about how his career in skateboarding kind of brought him to all these different parts of the world, and how it kind of ties into like different life lessons and all that stuff. So yeah, we're excited to share with you guys. So yeah,
enjoy this episode. Hey, Mana, thank you for joining us at Uncut.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Super excited.
We are so excited. You're only home for a short time. You don't live here anymore, right?
No, my family's still here, so I try to bounce back and forth as much as I can, but I'm based in Carlsbad, San Diego now.
Oh, San Diego. Okay.
How do you like it there?
I love it. I mean, it's the closest thing to Hawaii that's not Hawaii, and yeah, I love it. I mean, so many skate parks. I live like a mile from the ocean, so I still surf all the time and everything, but yeah, I love
the
it.
best of both worlds out
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
And then you get to come home too.
Yeah, and then I come home, see the family, get to take the wetsuits off and go surf over here. Yeah,
right. Yeah. How long have you been out there?
I've been officially based there for about 3 years now.
Oh, okay. You've been for a while.
Yeah, but before that was still like bouncing back and forth, staying on couches and everything like that. But like officially making the move out there and like having my own place is around 3 years now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you grew up here.
Mm-hmm. Born and raised.
Born and raised here. I read somewhere that your dad is like a semi-pro surfer. So were you surfing too and surfing and
tell us
skateboarding?
about the beginning. So how you kind of got into like board sports and all that kind of stuff.
So it pretty much happened like my dad loved skating and surfing all growing up, even snowboarding too. But at a young age, my dad was like, let's get you on a surfboard. You know what I mean? Because that was his love, and that's what he did. Mm-hmm. So at a young age, I'd be on a board, but like, when it comes to surfing, there's all these variables. It's windy, it's cold, and you're like 4 years old, and you're like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? So I didn't love it at first. It wasn't my first, like, I need to go do this every day. My dad realized that and was like, okay, what's the next best thing after surfing? So he was like, let's try skateboarding. So he introduced me to skateboarding, gave me a board, held my hands down the driveway, and I was hooked ever since then. I just absolutely loved it. So he'd start taking me to the skate park every day, before school, after school, like as much as I could.
What was your home skate park?
My home skate park was Hawai'i Skate Park.
Okay.
Nice.
Every day, all the time.
Yeah.
Love that
Pretty much grew up there then.
Yeah, pretty much. I love it. I mean, even today, it's so fun. I still go to the skate park at this age, at this level of skating. I have so much fun there all the time. I love it, yeah.
So your earliest memories of like skateboarding was around 4 or 5 years old?
It was about 6 or 7.
Nice.
Yeah, 6 or 7 was when I first started getting into skating, and then 8 years old, first contest. My dad took me out to, my first contest was actually at Kapolei Skate Park, and that one was like a crazy experience for me, just because it was like all the older guys that I looked up to and stuff like that. So it was a pretty crazy experience. But my first real contest, like outside of Hawaii, was in California, called King of the Groms.
Oh, sick, yeah.
So it's all 12 and under kids. So everyone my age, a little bit older, but went out there and I did really well. And I was like, dang, I love this. Like, I want to compete more. I want to do it.
Yeah.
So it was like at that point of your life where you're like, I want to do this like as a career.
Yeah, I mean, all from probably like 8 years old till 12, 13, 14, that age I was like, this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I will be able to make it as a profession. I don't know. All I'm doing is amateur contests right now, and that's just kind of what I knew. But I was like, I really want this to be my job. I want this to go and be my entire life. You know what I mean? And I mean, of course, it was hard with like school and everybody like telling you skateboarding's never gonna be a career. You know what I mean? Go find a real job. Go do this. And I don't know. I guess at that age, I was like, why? I love skateboarding.
Yeah.
I want to do this if I work hard enough at it. And my dad was a huge supporter in that. He was like, if you work hard at this, you can make this your job.
Oh, that's
you can make
key.
this career.
Your parents are like all in
Absolutely,
with you.
absolutely. So they are a huge part of why I was able to continue skateboarding to today. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was very lucky and fortunate with that.
Nice.
Cool. I mean, Tony Hawk made it a career, right?
Yeah. And I'm sure like those were some of your inspirations growing up, probably, right? Like Tony
Absolutely,
Hawk,
absolutely. And he's still the biggest inspiration. I mean, how old is he now? 54?
That's so crazy.
And he's still progressing, still skating. Oh my gosh. It's
Have
amazing.
you ever met him?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
And he has a vert ramp right 10 minutes away from my house in Carlsbad that we go skate all the time. It's like his warehouse and stuff. So it's really cool. Yeah.
And he's in Hawaii a lot. I always hear like, oh, we saw Tony Hawk here and there. Like he just kind of like pops in at like random places.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's super cool. Like all these, like a big part of being in San Diego is being around skateboarding, you know? So like that's a lot of the reason why I had to get off the island because like, you never hear a professional skateboarder from Hawaii, you know what I mean?
Well,
you know,
here you are.
or you never hear of a professional skateboarder moving to Hawaii, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you hear about all the surfers and everybody coming here. So I really had to like, as much as I love home, I really had to separate that and be like, hey, I need to move to San Diego, be around skateboarding and that's a huge reason. Like I'll see Tony Hawk at the skate park. I'll see all these like inspirations, all these people I looked up to and be able to go skate with them on a daily basis, which is really freaking cool.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you're going through like middle school, high school, and you're competing all throughout high school.
Yes, as much as I could. I would. My dad and I would travel to the different events, mainly on the West Coast in California. But there was a few I went to in like Korea or China or like some random spots where they would hold contests. But yeah, mainly throughout high school, I was trying to make a career out of it without actually making a career out of it yet.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until right when I graduated high school I was still kind of in that zone of like, should I go to school? Do I need to go to school? Do I need to find a job? Because at that point I was going to contests, but I wasn't getting official invites to like the big contests, like X Games or Do Tours or these huge contests that like really change from amateur skateboarding and professional skateboarding.
Well, and being in Hawaii, so you must have been a lot limited to like how many of these you can enter, right? Because like it's a big cost to fly anywhere versus if you're in California and then you could go to all of these contests.
Absolutely. And I would look at all the people that I competed with that lived in California or lived on the mainland where they could be like, oh, there's a contest this weekend, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
real quick.
I would like hear of a contest and be like, oh, there's a contest in 3 days. Dad, can we go? And he's like, oh, it's too soon. You know what I mean? So like I would always look at that and be like, dang it, I need to be out there. But yeah, when I wasn't like getting those real invites to these big contests yet. So like I was at a big turning point of like, do I need to go to college? Do I need to like figure it out? I remember applying to some colleges, but it was actually that summer that I graduated high school. I got a wild card invite to X Games that year.
Sick.
Crazy.
And I was like, okay, let's like see what happens this summer. See if I can get some invites. See if I can make it. You know what I mean? And the cards were dealt right, and I got the wild card. Ended up winning that X Games.
Wow.
Going to the main one, getting an invite from there to Do Tour, doing good in Do Tour, getting an invite, and it kind of just like all linked together that summer.
Wow, all in one summer.
All in
That's
that one
crazy.
summer, and then I was like, wow, this is okay. No need to go to school.
I can do this.
I guess the universe just like gave you the answers then.
Exactly.
I mean, in a huge way.
Do you think like, growing up, like, did you like manifest this? Like, do you this is what you really wanted, and like you kind of like did things and the universe kind of like responded?
In a lot of ways, I do believe in that, because I mean, looking back at like interviews that I would do with news stations and stuff when I was only like 12, 13 years old. I remember specifically doing this one interview, and they're like, what contest do you want to do? Or like, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And it's this very specific interview where I said, one day I want to be in X Games, and then also if skateboarding gets added to the Olympics, I want to be there.
This was way before,
This was back,
chicken skin.
back in like 2010 or something crazy, and like that wasn't even in talks, you know what I mean? And it was just like, I just knew as a young age, I was like, if it does, I really want to try my best to be there. And it's crazy that's like way back then, it's like you're manifesting it like you were saying, and then being able to have the opportunity at my age at the exact time in 2020 and like getting there and working hard and being there, you know what I mean? So it's just so crazy to see how it all like plays out.
Wow, that is like chicken skin moment. Because, okay, so let's talk about that. So what was that? So you went and then had like a huge summer, and then what happened between that to you got the invite to the Olympics?
Okay, so I graduated in 2017. I was doing a bunch of contests, 2017, 2018. The end of 2018 is kind of when the Olympics was more in talks of like, okay, we're actually going to have the Olympics in 2020. It was a lot of years of just like, okay, maybe the next Summer Olympics, maybe the next Summer Olympics. And I was kind of just like hearing it. I wasn't like trying to dive deep and be like, come on, what's going on? Like, give me the insights, you know? I was just kind of listening, you know? And in 2018, it was really when they're like, 2020, skateboarding is being added to the Olympics.
Crazy.
And I was like, what do I need to do to get there? You know, so the end of 2018, they had an event. It was an open event to anybody, any country, everything in China. And it was the World Championships. And that was their first Olympic event and or Olympic qualifying event.
Okay.
And anybody could go. You just had to pay.
The first ever, I guess, then. So that was the first ever Olympic qualifying event for skateboarding?
First ever, yes.
Yeah.
And there wasn't any points that go towards getting on the Olympic team. It was just kind of like an opening, like, this is a sanctioned event. If you do good here, you can get pre-qualified for next year and all the events next year. So I went to that event.
Was there a big turnout?
Big turnout.
Hella people.
Huge turnout.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. Like people from like random countries that I had no idea even had skateboarding. You know what I mean? And it was honestly, it was so beautiful being there. And like half the people didn't even speak English.
Yeah.
But we're laughing with each other and skating with each other and having the best time. And I'm like, I don't even know your name. You know what I mean? Like I can't even ask you what your name is. But we're just having a blast and having fun. And it was a really cool kind of scene of like seeing everywhere that skateboarding was and kind of coming together, sharing the only language we all shared in common was skateboarding.
That's crazy.
You know?
That's
So
crazy.
It was super cool. Yeah.
And everybody has one common goal. It's just compete in the Olympics.
Exactly.
So then tell us about that. How was that? How long was it?
What is that?
Like
the contest?
Yeah.
So that contest was just a week long.
Okay.
Well, it was a weekend of competing, and then I went up 4 or 5 days early to practice. Everyone was skating amazing.
Yeah.
It was so cool to see.
Yeah.
And like I get to compete against all my friends that I've known forever, and like everyone's up there and just having a good time. And I ended up doing really well, and I placed second in that event.
Wow.
Nice.
So that was really exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed a thing too. So before this contest, they had to kind of announce a national team for USA for every country. They had to announce a national team without having any points. So they were kind of like, we're just gonna we're gonna announce.
Just put some names out there.
Put some names out there.
Okay.
I didn't make that list.
And
I was like,
how many on the team?
There were at that time it was I think 4 or 5.
Okay.
Of U.S. park skaters, street skaters for men's and women's.
Nice.
2 different teams, or I guess 4 different teams then.
4 different teams, but all part of United States. You know what I mean? I didn't make that team, and I was like, okay, I need to make that team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the national team is the team that gets funded by the United States, the one that get all the benefits and the health insurance and everything like that. And it really kind of just shows the world who the national team is. You know what I mean? So I didn't make that team, and I was like, I need to go out to this contest. I need to do good, and I need to show them that I belong on this team. You know?
Yeah.
Got second in that contest, and I was like, all right, come on. You know what I mean? So I did well there, which was really helpful. It got me a spot on the national team for 2019.
Oh, that contest got you
That
on.
contest helped to get me on for the 2019 national team. And then it also helped me because since I got second there, I was thrown into the semifinals of each event, pre-qualified in the semifinals for each event in 2019, which was super helpful.
Yeah. I love that mentality though, where you're like, must have been kind of a disappointment to not see your name like on that team, but then you're like, nope, I am going to prove to them that I belong here, and that you did it.
Exactly.
Like that's a winner's mentality right there.
You didn't give up, you know?
Yeah, that you just didn't give up and be like, nope, I'm going to prove to them. How'd the rest of those guys do at that China?
Everyone did awesome.
Oh, okay.
Everyone did really well. I know a lot of the United States people made the finals, made the semifinals and the finals. Everyone skates amazing. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing about skateboarding too, is that like you could be the best, the people's choice best. You know what I mean? The absolute best. Everyone thinks you're the best skater. But that day, if the judges don't think you're the best, you're not winning that contest. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. I mean, that's beautiful. You know, there's not always going to be one set winner every time.
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
unless you dominate completely.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you compete in all these 2019 events, Olympics events.
Yeah.
And then when was it where you traveled for? So you're on the 2019 team.
National team. So there's the national team and then the Olympic team.
Okay, so then you started at the national team, and then what happened after that?
So after making the national team, we had 3 Olympic sanctioned events. In 2019, and then there's like 2 other events as well, but 3 Olympic sanctioned events that these are the points for the 2020 team. First one was Dew Tour. I made the finals, but I didn't do well. I think I got like 7th or something like that. Kind of devastated, but I was like, okay, this just means I have to work harder for the next contest. The next one was in China again, but at a different skate park. Ended up winning that, which helped me boost up in the rankings to first place overall, which was huge. I was like, this is amazing.
Because I guess like for people that don't understand, you're just basically like racking up points for the ranking.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
So I'm racking up points for the rankings, and top 3 from each country make the team. Make it to the Olympics. So 3 United States, 3 French, 3 in for men's and women's park and street. So top 3.
Yeah. Nice.
So
wow.
Yeah, after the China contest, that really lit a fire under me, and I was like, okay, I belong here. You know, I can compete against these guys, and heck, I can win. You know what I mean? So like that really lit a fire. I went back home, started training. I was like, I need to do good in the next one, because the next one is the World Championships, and that was held in Brazil, in Sao Paulo. And if you win a World Championships, it's like 80,000 points to the board. And I think I don't remember exactly how many points I had from the first 2 events, but around like 60,000, 70,000 points total. And I was like, okay, I need to do good in this World Championship.
Because you weren't guaranteed at that point.
No, no one is guaranteed at this point, you know? So I trained my butt off, learned some new tricks, went to Brazil for the World Championship. A lot of just like ups and downs, you know, in contests where everyone's skating good. I'm like hard on myself. I'm not landing my tricks. Ended up making it through to the finals, from the semis to the finals, and everyone is there. The best skaters in the world. We got like Pedro Barros, Corey Juno, everyone who's anybody is like, even Shaun White was competing in that event as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Shaun White was there.
He was trying to qualify for the Olympics?
He was trying. Yeah, he was going to go for it.
Skateboarding.
Yeah, for skateboarding.
Crazy.
Yeah, he actually made the semifinals.
Oh, damn.
He just missed the final barely, but yeah, he's an amazing skater. He started from qualifiers, quarters, and semis, and then got eliminated in the semis.
Oh, dang. That's
he's amazing.
It's a whole different sport.
But I ended up making the finals and landed the run I wanted to, and I ended up winning.
That's so crazy. What was that
big.
like? What was that like when? Because then you don't really know. It's kind of like surfing, right? Like you don't really know, like if you want to just like up to the judges.
Up to the judges, yeah, exactly. And
Did you feel it during your heat, like when you were skating, like were you like, dude, this is the one I gave it my all?
I felt really good.
Yeah.
I had a similar run in the semifinals that got me to the finals that wasn't a winning run. And I was like, dang, okay, I made it to the finals and I think it was 5th place. Mm-hmm. I need to step it up. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like with competitive skateboarding, yeah, it's like a lot of strategy. You know what I mean? A lot of strategy and a lot of just like trying to figure out what the judges like, how the other people are skating, and kind of like feeding off of that. Mm-hmm. And I put together my run. You had 4 runs, I think 45 seconds each run, and you just got to try to do your best tricks, and you got to stay on your feet. You know what I mean? And then I think my first run, I fell. Devastating, scary.
45 seconds is kind of not that long.
Not that long. Yeah. But I mean, when you're skating and like trying to bust out your tricks and try to staying on your feet is the biggest thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So 45 seconds trying to stay on your feet, trying your hardest tricks. Yeah. That feels like an hour long. I can't imagine. I remember like looking up. I'd always look up at the clock because they always have like a shot clock out there, and I'd like do a lot of my tricks, and I like look up. I'm like, dang it, I still have like 15 seconds. What am I gonna do? Stay on my feet. Stay on my feet. Come on.
Oh, that's crazy. I can't even imagine. Like, what's going through your head? Yeah. So you fell in the first one.
Fell in the first one. Second run. I think I fell in my second run as well.
Oh shoot!
And I'm like right there. I'm like in my head, like okay, stay on your feet. You gotta come on. Like, and my dad's there. He's like, you can do it. Like, just focus. And then third run, landed my good run that I wanted to land, bumped myself up into first place, and I was like, oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay, but it's not over. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got to watch the other skaters and you got to see how good they're skating and everything's going on. And you're kind of like, okay, it's not over yet. Everyone still has one more run.
Yep.
Ended up, a couple of the good skaters started landing their runs. I think I got bumped out of first place for a second.
An emotional like roller coaster.
For a second, I get bumped out of first place and I'm like, okay, I just got to step it up a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that's just like the cool part about skating. You're just like feeding off of everyone. You know what I mean? And it's not another thing that's like pretty crazy about skateboarding is the fact that like I'm there competing against these guys, these like Brazilians or people from like Europe and all these things. And I'm like, not like, if I see like my buddy Pedro Barros, who's one of the best skateboarders in the world from Brazil, if I see him land the craziest run I've ever seen, I'm not sitting there like, God dang it, like,
stoked.
God dang it, like he's gonna beat me now. I'm like, oh, let's go. You know what I mean? I'm like, let's go, and then I see him bump me out, and I'm like, all right, watch this, watch him. You know what I mean?
Fun. It's like fun competition.
Yeah, and that's what we love about it. So ended up going on my next run, having to bump it up. I did a trick in that contest that I've only done like once at that park. Landed in the run. Barely landed my last trick. Crowd was going wild. I remember like taking off my beanie and like that was amazing. And then seeing and then I had to watch the next 4 or 5 people go, and I'm just sitting there like,
still not it.
Come on, just stay in first. Ended up getting lucky. Judges liked me that day, I guess. But I ended up getting lucky and winning first that contest, which really solidified my spot.
World champ.
On the world, yeah.
Wow, what a title.
Oh man, I still get. It's still crazy to even think about that.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
I don't know. We don't know much about skateboarding, and it's the same. Like when we interviewed, like Luke Shepperson, who won the Eddie at surfing, but then when he was saying like, you can plan all these things, but then like it just depends on what Mother Nature gives you. It's like you might get like a giant wave and a certain wave that's like a winning wave, but then with skateboarding, everything's stationary. So like when you're planning your line, is that what it's called? Yeah. Planning your line, like, is that what it is? Like kind of like a choreographed thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna do a jump on there, and like, what are you like? How are you planning your thing?
Yeah, in simple terms, yes, we are just choreographing a line, but it is different because yes, it's stationary, everything's there, but it will be different to each different skate park that we have around the world, whichever contest. Leading up to an event, I will usually look at the skate park, kind of study it, where I think that these tricks will go and where I think that these tricks will be. Getting to the skate park is really when you figure out your lines and you want to You want to figure out where, like, oh, I want to do this trick here, and that'll lead me to the next trick there, and that'll lead me to the next trick there. Once you figure out that, like, okay, these tricks, I want to do these tricks in my run, and then these are where they link up, then you really start, like, memorizing it and just doing that line over and over and over and over. Yeah. And then so that when the contest comes, you're like, okay, I know exactly where I'm going to go, where I'm going to drop in, where I'm going to do this trick, where I'm going to do that trick, where I'm going to pop out and go, yeah.
Oh, crazy.
That is
45
crazy.
seconds.
Yeah. Do you ever like change it up like while you're doing it?
So yeah, that's another thing about skateboarding is that like, if you can do a trick 1,000 times and think you have it on lock, but then in the contest, your feet will be off just a little bit, and you're gonna get shot you want to go left and you get shot right, and now you're like,
oh no.
Yeah.
So like at that point, you're like, you have to go back and know your ability in skateboarding and be like, okay, I can keep going. So then you kind of just like mix it up, whatever you feel, you know what I mean?
Because nobody else knows that line except for you, right? Like you're not getting judged based off of, oh, this was his plan and he didn't.
No, not at all. Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people too. I mean, that's just how I like to compete, and a lot of people like to compete that way, where they have the line and they get it and they know exactly what they're gonna do. But there are a lot of amazing skateboarders out there that don't need to do that and will like drop in and be like, all right, let's go. And like they're just that good at that. Yeah, they just go for it and just do whatever they want. That's like their ability of skateboarding. They know how good they are and they know what tricks they want to do in their own head, so they just go for it.
Wow.
I'm not like that. I need to plan it out and I need to know that. Yeah, exactly.
That's like a whole different side of like competitive skateboarding, you know, that a lot of people don't like get to hear about or even like witness or experience, you know. So there's
a lot of behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. And
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, and too, like what Luke was saying about like Mother Nature will give you the right wave or something like that. In skateboarding, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, there's tricks that you want to do, and I mean, you can do it over 1,000 times, and then you can still fall on it in the contest, and you're like, oh my god, what are you doing? But like that's just how the cards are played, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's about like how you recover and then make up for that. So
exactly.
it's like life.
Yeah.
I mean, like everything's like life. And
yeah.
So where's your dad in this whole process?
Right by my side.
Nice. That's so like you would say like he's kind of like the biggest supporter in life for skateboarding.
100%. He's my biggest supporter. He has been there literally. I think he's missed maybe 3 contests total.
Out of like so many, right?
He'll still fly up with me. Like he was in Dubai with me.
Wow.
Like I try to have him there as much as I can. I mean, not only is he my dad, like I love to travel with my dad. He's also there for me. Like he brings me my water and like he's like, okay, maybe that didn't work that well. Let's try this one. You know. So he's also plays a role as my coach and my mentor, and just I like having him there too. You know what I mean? He's just always been there since I was a kid. So I mean, today it's just the same, you know?
Sick. That's awesome.
So
that must be
cool
such like a good relationship.
Yeah, that you had that support, like going to all these contests and.
Yeah, I was very fortunate for that.
Yeah,
I feel awesome. Very lucky.
At what age did your dad open up the proper?
So we have Proper Ride Shop. It's our indoor skate park, and it doubles as like clinics, camps, membership programs, and also a little place where I can train while I'm home. It all started. Oh man, we started as Skate Care Hawai'i first, and where we were doing skate lessons and stuff out of Hickam Air Force Hangar, that skate park out there. I want to say I was in like 7th or 8th grade at this time, 8th grade probably. That's where we started doing like lessons and classes, and then ever since my dad first started skateboarding with me, he was like, I want to open up a park one day. Nice. I remember him saying that. He's like, I want to open up a park, I want to do lessons, I want to like give back, just because the other parents would see my dad at the skate park and see him helping me, and they would always be like, hey, what, you can take my kid. You can take my kid to skate park. And a lot of times my dad would.
He's just like taking care of all these kids, like daddy daycare.
Like, and all my friends would like come, and my dad had one of those like 18 passenger vans.
Yeah.
We would be like, on weekends, I'd have all my friends jump in the van and we'd like drive to different skate parks. We'd go like Pearl City, then Couple It, and then North Shore. And then,
nice.
like hitting all the skate parks
yeah.
all the time. And like a lot of people would see that. My dad's like, dang, I can make money off of it.
Yeah, I can do something with it.
Yeah, I can like give back and I can do something with this. So that's how it all came to be. And then I want to say like 11 years ago, 12 years ago probably, we opened up our first proper ride shop 1.0. I think it was only like 60 feet by 30 square feet. And all we had was a mini ramp with a spine, and then like a little 4-stair. Yeah. And that's just kind of like where we're like, all right, let's have lessons and we have like an indoor shop too. So like selling all skateboards and everything like that. So they started off small, definitely. And it just started growing and building, and we've never done any sort of like online, like commercials or like
advertising.
Advertising. It was all word of mouth at this point. And we were like, wow, this is going amazing, and it was just so fun. And then we kind of got to a point where we're like, dang, we need to expand. Yeah, we needed a bigger space. So we found another place that was literally like right down the street, bigger warehouse. So we were able to build more ramps and bigger ramps and expand more. So yeah, it's pretty freaking awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. And this was going on when you were still here at home. So you got to be part of that whole thing.
I got to be a part of everything.
So
and I think I was a freshman when we started opening up the bigger place. So I should have been there more. I was definitely like a little high schooler, you get them. You know?
I'm gonna go skate.
I'm gonna go beach. I'm gonna go skate. But I definitely should have been there more. But I was very fortunate to be able to learn from him and help him there building the ramps and putting it and seeing it all come to be. So yeah,
that's awesome.
So cool, and it's still going.
Yeah, still going. We were just there yesterday filming, and it's awesome. I love going there all the time. I mean, I help the kids out, and I do classes and privates and stuff like that when I can when I'm home. And then it also doubles as a place where I can go hang out and like bring my friends like after hours. Like if we end classes at 7:30, I'll be like, like invite all my friends at like 8 o'clock. Like we skate, we blast music, and we just skate till like midnight. You know what I mean? Yeah,
that's sick.
I love it. I'm very fortunate.
How is it like? I mean, you're still young, but like seeing just the next generation and like, growing up in Hawaii, you don't really hear, like you said, like skateboarding as a career in Hawaii, So how is it like growing up in that and then now seeing the next generation and like, teaching them giving back?
It's amazing. I mean, just when I think back to when I was a kid and I was just like loving skateboarding, I was like 9, 10 years old. There wasn't a lot of kids my age that were skating, I would go skate with my skate friends who were all like 17, older, 18, 20 years old, And just nowadays, I mean, I could have also just been like young and blind to like, hey, I don't like hang out with you guys. These guys are the better guys. I want to,
they're cooler.
But just like thinking back to that and like thinking about today and just seeing how much skateboarding has grown, especially here in Hawaii, and like seeing the next generation and like the young kids and how many girls are in skateboarding now too.
Cool.
Young girls that are just getting into skateboarding and loving it and getting really good. It's so cool to see, and like it's even cooler to just have that feeling of being a part of it and giving back to it. And like we have 400 something members now at Proper, crazy. And it's my gosh, it's so amazing. And just like even to now that I live in San Diego, I don't get to see these kids as often, so I'll like see them, like a lot of kids that I like just taught how to skate maybe like 2 years ago. I'd first day on the skateboard, you know what I mean? And then I would see them every few months, and I'm like,
see their progression.
Whoa, you got good. Whoa, you know what I mean? And like even today, like 2 years later, I'm like, dang, you guys, I need to step up my game,
They're coming for you.
The next generation is coming.
Exactly.
That must
cool.
be, that's amazing.
We need to talk about the Olympics.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So you were world champ in 2019.
Yes.
And then Olympics
Tokyo Summer Games.
Tokyo Summer
that
Games.
was planned for 2020.
Supposed to be 2020.
Yeah.
COVID happened. Everything went on pause. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know, especially, I mean, we had all these plans, you know what I mean? Even even all the merchandise for Tokyo still says 2020 on it. I mean, funny. It was a crazy time. Didn't know what was going on. I was in California at this time too when COVID hit. So it was right when I got my house in San Diego.
So you just moved out there.
Just moved out there in November of 2019.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like before.
Right before. So I was out there. I was
like on this high too.
Yeah, exactly. And we kept checking my emails like every day pretty much of like, oh, what's the next contest? Where's this? What are we doing now? Are we going to Tokyo?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And they announced the team and everything happened and I made it and now we're not going to Tokyo. You know what I mean? We're like, so what next? You know? And then it was just, I mean, of course everybody had that, like, what's next? Like what's happening, you know? And then it was just shut down and all the skate parks were shut down. We couldn't go outside and it was crazy. I mean, just thinking back, I was like, it's almost like a fever dream, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. I mean, I remember skating my living room and like skating my garage.
Just at home.
Yeah, so funny. It was funny. I'm making like little edits of me like skating my coffee table. Yeah, it was crazy. But fast forward, 2020 happened. As much as we don't want to look back at 2020, it happened. They announced that they are going to have the 2020 games in summer of 2021. COVID's still very much a thing. Thinking back to it, it's just like so crazy the amount of obstacles and everything getting there and being there. So there's street skating and park skating. Street skating got to go to Tokyo a week early because their event just lined up a week early. We couldn't even go and like watch the street contest.
It was like no spectators or anything.
No spectators. You had to be in the country something like 48 hours before, out of the country 48 hours after.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
Like you could not stay.
Yeah.
So you couldn't even like really practice there?
We had the 2 or 3 days of practice and like scheduled practices and stuff like that, which is normal. We usually only have like 2 or 3 days, 4 days of practice with like scheduled practicing. But yeah, the pretty unfortunate part was that I wasn't able to go to the opening ceremony or the closing ceremony.
Oh,
That
dang.
Just because of timing.
Yeah.
They still gave us the outfits and stuff.
So
So I put them on. But I mean, looking back, you're like, dang it. But then at the same time, you're like, dude, I went to the freaking Olympics. You know what I mean? So like, can't really complain too much, you know? But yeah, looking back, it was amazing. It was such a cool experience. I mean, there's obstacles of COVID tests morning and night and having the blockers up. You couldn't really talk to a lot of people. If you were to get COVID at the Olympic Village, you are out. You cannot compete. You cannot.
So you pretty much just kind of had to stay safe.
You had to like stay in your little bubble. You know what I mean? And everyone there had the same idea. They're like, dude, I'm just here to compete. I don't like, as much as I want to make friends and meet all these people and do all these things, I can't, you know, like this is what I trained my whole life for. And it was so unfortunate seeing the handful of people who got COVID, you know what I mean? There were a few people that got COVID, couldn't compete. Oh man. Yeah, it was awful to hear about those things. And like they would have to go into isolation for like 14 days in a random hotel in Tokyo,
country.
Which is terrifying. You know what I mean? So like as much as like I'm like a little social butterfly, like wanting to go talk to people and hang out and like meet all these crazy athletes that I've like looked up to my whole life, I couldn't, you know? And I was just like that. But it was a crazy, amazing experience being in the village, waking up and like, oh man, just like watching, like you look out your window and you see people like running and walking and like you're training, you know what I mean? And you're just like, where the heck am I? You know what I mean? Like how lucky am I that skateboarding has brought me here? You know, it's so crazy to think about. And like I look back on it and I'm like, wow,
and that you manifested that
you said it when
prior to that. And you're part of the first
Olympic skateboarding team.
Crazy. And it's just, when you go back to manifesting and just thinking about just timing wise and everything like that, I really just thank the stars and everything for how the timing went down. It's like the age I was at in 2021 and like the next one is 2024 and like I really want to get there and I really want to make it again, but I'm like, dang, all these like younger kids, you know what I mean? And then even 2028 after that, it's like, how am I supposed to be there in 2028, you know? And it's just thinking about just like the peak of my career in 2019 or my high in my career in 2019, and then right after that is the Olympics. You know, it's like I just feel so lucky that the timelines happened the way they did, and and I just I'm blessed. You know.
No, that's amazing.
But you're not even close to being aged out of skateboarding. So Tony Hawk at 50 something is still going strong.
Is that what you're working towards right now, 2024?
I definitely want to make 2024. That's definitely a high goal of mine. I made it to the Olympics. Now I got to get a medal at the Olympics. You know what I mean?
Next goal,
That's the next goal. So I definitely want to make it for 2024.
Was there like a different pressure when you were competing there? I mean, one, it's different because you're used to, I'm sure there's like spectators and people cheering you on.
Oh yeah, that's weird. There's like nobody cheering.
Was it like silent or like?
It's skateboarding, nothing silent.
I mean,
but I mean that in the way of like everyone who's competing is cheering you on. You know
so there were other people like.
There were people that could watch. The other competitors, their coaches were there. There were some spectators, not like skateboarding spectators, but like spectators there. So like it wasn't completely silent. It was very different than what I'm used to. Like going back to Brazil World Championships.
Oh yeah, that must have been
crowd
a party
everywhere. You know what I mean? Just screaming, cheering. You know what I mean? So it's definitely different from then. But I feel like going back to talking about pressure and stuff like that, I feel like there was definite pressure. For sure, there's always going to be pressure in a contest like that. It's the Olympics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then on the other side of it, I go back to, dude, I made it here. I'm here at the Olympics skateboarding for my country.
Yeah, that's just like the cherry on top.
Like I had to like think back and be like, there shouldn't be this feeling of pressure or this feeling of like I have to do good or I need to do this. Like I already feel like I've made my family proud. I've made my country proud to be here. I've made myself proud. You know what I mean?
Huge.
So at this point, I just want to jump in, like skate my best I can and then enjoy it. Enjoy the moment and smile and have a good time. You know what I mean? It's like, don't put all this pressure of myself on like, what if I fall? What if I don't place? What if I don't do this? What if all these what ifs? I just wanted to go there, try my best and say I went to the Olympics.
That's crazy. Do you think you'll still have that same mentality when you go next year? Because it's going to be like at this time, you're going to be like, medal. Like I want a medal.
Absolutely. I mean, my age right now, and thinking back to all the contests that I've done and all my accomplishments that I've made, I feel so lucky. You know what I mean? I look back and I'm like, dang, I'm so lucky that I've turned this little wooden toy with wheels into a career, into my life, you know? So I just feel like nowadays with skateboarding, I just love having fun. I love going to the skate park still. I mean, of course, I'm treating it as my job. I'm still training my butt off. I'm still working out. I'm still learning new tricks. But like when it comes to contests and when it comes to like the career aspect and the business aspect of skating, I'm just enjoying the heck out of it.
Yeah.
You know,
that's the best way to do it.
And
it's
I
so
guarantee
fun.
that mentality and that like outlook is like the universe is like more, you know, like gonna just like give you more and more and more. Because
that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, like that's where the magic is. You know,
Exactly.
They say like when you have like gratitude, like everything's just better.
For sure.
Yeah. So training for the qualifying, are you doing qualifying events for Olympics 2024?
Yes, so there's qualifying events all throughout this year. And the first one was in Dubai. That wasn't for necessarily points. Like, remember I told you about the first China event? That was just for help to get a little head start. So there's that contest, and then there's, I think, 4 more events this year. Argentina, Rome, and 2 other ones I'm blanking on like where exactly they are. But Argentina's next month. I'm not going to that one. Just taking a little break from contests. I took a pretty good slam in Dubai that pushed me back a little bit, but right now I'm just trying to get my legs back and figure out what exactly I need to do good in the next event. So I'm taking Argentina off and gonna definitely do the next one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick.
Were you okay? Did you break any bones?
I didn't break any bones. I lost the tooth. Kind of.
Oh no.
Kind of had to get some
some replacement.
I had to get like a titanium rod like drilled into my jawbone.
You like slammed your face.
Yeah, so I like I said, with skateboarding, anything can happen. It could be a trick that you know very well, and it's just slide out, be off balance a little bit. That's what happened. I kind of did a trick, landed weird, slid out, and in contests you want to land everything. You try to land everything, and I think that's what happened. I slid out, kind of hit my face. I got knocked out for a little while.
Oh no.
And I cracked a couple of these front teeth, and then I broke this one out.
Oh dang.
And it kind of like broke the nerve, so we had to like get it removed and titanium rod and all that fun stuff.
I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, I look at how lucky I am with that. Like, I mean, you can be bummed and like sad about why, like, dang, I didn't do good in the contest and I fell and I got to go to the dentist now. But I look back and I'm like, damn, I'm so lucky. It could have been so much worse. You know what I mean? Anything can happen. It could have been so much worse. So I'm super lucky for that.
I mean, that kind of comes with the territory, right? When doing things like big things like you are doing, like you're gonna fall.
Yeah, you're gonna fall, and that's gonna happen. And you look at it like, okay, like you could either sit down and stay down and cry and look at how awful that was, or you can get back up and go do it again and love it. You know what I mean? So I remember the first week of when I got back on my board from this event, I went and did the trick that I fell on. That's exactly what I had to do, and I knew that's what I had to do, is that go back, do the trick that I fell on, know that I can do this trick,
like
and face it, and so that's like everything in skateboarding, or a lot of skateboarding is just like knowing your limits 100%, but knowing that if you fall, you get back up and you fight for it. You know, so
that's awesome, because like it's a lot of life lessons in skateboarding and stuff. So like just like growing up from that, like I mean, growing up with skateboarding kind of like set you up for your kind of mindset and the way you live life right now.
100%, 100%. Yeah. And I try to tell everyone that, and like all the kids that want to get into skateboarding, it's like, dude, you're gonna fall. I'm not gonna tell you you're not gonna fall. I'm not gonna tell you you're not gonna get hurt. I'm gonna tell you though that if you love skateboarding and if you want to do this and you have this love for it, if you fall, get back up and do it again, because that feeling of learning a trick and landing a trick after working so dang hard on it is the best feeling you have ever felt in your entire life.
Nice.
And it just goes into life. I mean, like, nothing will come easy in life. There's nothing. And life will, like, push you to the ground, and you will, like, cry, and you will be bummed. But, like, you're not going to stay down. You're not going to, like, let that life pass you by and just, like, be bummed and sad. You're going to want to, like, fight for it and go for it. And then the best accomplishments happen when you fight as hard as you can for them, you know?
100%. It feels so much better when you had to fight for
exactly.
it. Oh, that's so good.
Nothing worth having is easy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so you go back to California tomorrow.
I do.
And just start training again.
Yep, I have actually have a fun contest next week. It's called Mano a Mano. It's nothing to do with Olympics. It's an absolutely fun event. It's this thing called a game of skate. Yep. And it's like horse in basketball. You gotta copy the trick. So I do it every year for 4 or 5 years now. This will be my 5th year, I think. I won it 2 years ago, and I got second last year, so I want to get that crown back. So that's next week. It'll be a super fun event. That's what I'm really looking forward to, that next week. But other than that, I'm just training. I'm working on tricks. I'm still trying to have fun and enjoy my life and follow my dreams, you know?
When you say training, like, what does it take to become, like, to be an Olympic Olympian, and like for skateboarding, like what's your training outside of like practicing your tricks, obviously, like what's your training like?
So I get this question a lot about like training and like why is how did you change from a skateboarder to an Olympian? You know what I mean? Yeah. When I first was like, okay, I'm gonna make the Olympic team, I need to make the Olympic team, I have to change some habits that I have as a skateboarder and really look into what habits athletes have. You know what I mean? So I really was like, okay, I can go skateboard every day and that's what I can do. You know what I mean? But like, how am I going to be different from every other skateboarder? How am I going to be a United States, like Olympic skateboarder, you know? So when I say training, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is usually the days that I go to the gym and I work out with a personal trainer. We don't focus so much on muscle building and bodybuilding. We focus a lot on building muscle around my joints to prevent injuries. So that way, if I just so happen to fall out of like a giant trick, land in the flats 20 feet down or something, I'll be able to like land and roll out of it with minimum injury. You know what I mean? Of course, anything can happen, but I try to build the muscle around my joints so that I can prevent all these injuries from happening. That is a huge part in skateboarding, is knowing how to fall, knowing how to get out of like scary situations. So that's a big part of my training. And then the other side is going to the skate park. So I go to the skate park and there's 2 different sessions I usually have when skating. One session will be a lot of focus on learning tricks and being like, okay, these are the trick lists that I want to learn and work on or get better at, like tricks I know how to do that I want to get better at. And then my other session would be like working on lines and stamina and keeping my board under my feet, you know what I mean? And then that session is usually a more like cool down, fun session. The working on trick session's a lot of like,
because you have to do it like over and over again.
Is there a trick that like kind of had you stumped for a while?
Oh, there's so many.
What was the most frustrating one, like top of your head?
Most frustrating trick for me is just a 540. Oh, okay. A 540, just spinning 540 degrees. For me, growing up, that is just like the hugest mind block. You know how you get this like crazy mind blocks, like it's like random stuff. The 540 for me was the craziest mind block. I've come in the last like year, 2 years to learn how to like know how to do it better and like keep my mind more stable when I'm doing it. But all growing up, it was like a trick that I was so many ups and downs where I was like, okay, I can do it, and then I'll eat it really hard, and I'm like, okay. No. I hate this trick.
Walking away.
Take a break from that one.
And then like learning it again, and then fighting it again, and learning it. It's just it was just one of those tricks that I was always just like fighting up and down with it. But like, it was, and like with skateboarding, like I said, like there's a lot of mental just like awareness in skateboarding, and like so much of the battle with like learning a trick or making it a career, everything like that is mental, you know? And it's like, you have to go past these like mental blocks and like fight for it to get it. You know what I mean? And it's like, if you have a mental block with anything in like skating, like a trick or confidence or anything like that, it's not going to happen. So you have to like fight past that.
Nice.
Is there a trick in skateboarding that's like the pinnacle of like, if you can do this trick, like you're badass, like?
Dude, I wish there was a single trick. Because I would be working hard on that trick. But no, I wish there was, but there isn't, because there's so many tricks that can be done and so many tricks that would be like, damn, this is badass. Or like, you can do it and you're badass.
It's so cool how creative you can get with it, you know?
Exactly.
People keep like pushing the boundaries too, I'm sure.
It's like, holy shit, did he just do that?
Exactly. And another thing with skateboarding too, on like everybody, let's say a kickflip. Everybody anybody can kickflip. But there's a couple specific handful of people that can do that with their own style, and that's what makes them a little different from everyone else. It's like the way they do that specific trick at that way. You know what I mean?
So like, how do you separate yourself from every other
Exactly. Yeah.
That's fun. Do you have a signature?
I do. My signature trick is
the hand plant one.
The hand plant. Yeah. So it's a front side invert. You go heel side, front hand on the coping, and then I bring it up like a one-handed handstand. But like I said, the reason that that's kind of like my signature trick is the way I do it. The way I can like twist my body and turn it like we call it like a switch sad plant. It's the way it's like tweaked out, like that. It's hard for me to explain. But yeah, it's like the way that I was able to perfect the trick in my own creative way is why it turned into my signature trick.
Sick.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's almost like an art form.
Exactly. Yeah, we compare skateboarding to artists a lot, just because like there's so much creativity. Like I always said, like the skateboarder is the artist and the skate park or the obstacle is the canvas. Yeah. Because artists just draw and do whatever they want. There's no rules to it. You know what I mean? And that's why we love skateboarding so much. There's no rules to exactly how you can skate, or there's no one exact trick that you need to learn to be a professional skateboarder. Right. You just go and be creative and you love it and you learn from it and you just like, keep doing it.
So cool. You were like the poster child for skateboarding. You like everybody's gonna want to like buy a skateboard and go to a skate park.
Oh, thank you.
So obviously skateboarding has brought you to the Olympics and all that, but what other like crazy opportunities did you get like from skateboarding or this career that you didn't think you would get?
Oh man, I mean there's so many things that I can think about that. Yes, it's taken me to the Olympics and all these like crazy contests and events and meet these people, but also it's been able to bring me to places I never would have thought I would ever go, and like giving me these opportunities to give back to people that never had the opportunities that I have. So I've been able to take these trips and give skateboards to kids and stuff like that, which is really cool. Actually, we made a couple trips to Mexico with my my skateboard company that I'm sponsored by is called Heart Supply, and our literal goal with Heart Supply is to just get skateboards under kids' feet who like cannot afford it or doesn't have access to it, and it's just a good way for I love it so much because I was lucky enough to have it, and I was lucky enough to go every day. My dad was taking me every day and stuff like that. So I feel that like if these kids were given the opportunities that I had, even just to hold a skateboard, to put under their feet, it would change their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so awesome.
Thank you.
Other places you've been to, any place stick out, it's like you would want to go back, or
any place you want to visit?
Oh man, there's so many. I definitely loved going to Brazil and Australia. Those are my two favorite skate places that I've been able to travel to, just because they love skateboarding so much, and they like skate parks everywhere, and just it's such a fun place to go and visit and skate.
Nice.
Cool. And any places on your bucket list?
A lot of places on my bucket list. I mean, I haven't been to Bali yet. I've been wanting to do like a surf trip out to like Bali and Indo and stuff like that. I know. Too busy skating. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what's next for you besides qualifying for the Olympics?
Next for me? Yeah, I mean, right now I am filming a lot. I'm actually just starting a YouTube channel.
Oh, nice. Cool.
I want to not only do just strict vlog style stuff, but I want to kind of give a little insight into my life outside of just my Instagram shows a little bit of my life, but it's very based around business and skateboarding. I want to start a YouTube channel that shows my life as what I do day to day, and outside of just more than just skateboarding. I go surfing a lot. I work on trucks. I video game. You know what I mean? Like outside.
And people love seeing that.
Exactly. And so I just almost finished with my first episode.
Oh, nice.
It should be going live next week, I think.
Okay. Sick.
But yeah, I'm filming a lot for YouTube, doing that stuff. But other than that, just skating and traveling as much as I can and having fun, life, coming home.
Nice.
Did you say work on trucks?
Yeah, I mean every Hawaii boy, but yeah, I build like Toyotas and stuff like that. I work on my buddy's trucks and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's
What
fun.
do you drive in San Diego?
In San Diego, I have a 2017 Toyota Tacoma.
Oh, nice.
TRD Sport manual 4x4.
Oh, and you
redid the whole suspension, long travel shocks. I had have a video of on Instagram of me jumping it like last week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I go
watch
camping
his vlogs for that.
Yeah, watch them. But yeah, I'd build it out a lot, and then I have like a camper with a tent on it. So I go out to I go out to the deserts all the time. I go camping a lot. So yeah.
That's fun. Yeah. So where can people find this YouTube channel?
It will be just under my name, Heimana Reynolds. We're in the very early stages of creating it, but the video should be going live sometime next week, hoping if everything goes to schedule.
Nice. Well, stay tuned for that, guys.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. It was so nice to talk to you.
Oh,
You're
man.
such a star.
Wow,
I'm
super
excited.
inspirational, and it's just so cool to see how, like, your career and skateboarding has brought you to where you are, and then all the life lessons you learned from that. So thank you for sharing all that. It's gonna inspire so many people out there, whether they skate or not.
I really hope so. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. This was super fun.
Yeah, no.
Super fun. Make sure to subscribe to Heimana's channel, subscribe to Uncut's channel, and stay tuned for more updates with him. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.